Yeah, I mean, they literally still have questions in their mind, but you have to find answers now. Today's all about making a statement, and game one is where you can make the biggest one. That's where people start to get confused, maybe switch their drop spots. So already 10 people down, Aussie. I'm curious to see how far these early fights will go.
Yeah, 10 people down already. Wouldn't expect that one as Glace. Obviously, here's a player over here taking on some Marauders. Massive audio cues there. Marauders obviously giving you quite a bit of loot if you can lock them down, but just like that, Edgy, a player you would not expect to get caught out like that as well. Edgy already out of here. One of the most consistent NA players you're ever going to watch, but yeah, it is. Cuddle Bear Gamer looking to try and not be so cuddly here in this first fight as the boat comes in. Maybe one of those rotates that will change up in future. These players probably didn't know they were going to run into each other out here, but Innocent's happy to run into this fight with the SMG out. Does some serious damage. Just notice, wasn't even carrying a shotgun. I'm guessing based on this loot path and this drop, maybe just doesn't actually have the ability to...
Oh, this audio cue is so unfortunate for Jelty if he does come by, but he's avoided the house. He's moving on. I'm pretty sure we've always seen this house be a type of trap. No, there's someone else actually who's coming in. Doesn't have to be Jelty. I think Pick is going to drop down. Big charge shot, but he misses in the box. That's another spray that just lands, though.
Kind of coming around here. Good drop spot knowledge here to know he can crouch through that window to get a nice little angle around here. Steamy stacks that. Our PY, we haven't actually seen too much drama around, to be honest, surprisingly. It's a great PY on the map, but the fight's breaking out, and Ninja on height jumps in. He goes off the height. That was so close. He was on 4 health there in a single tick zone. He had 3 more seconds to close that out, and he does, as Day's getting into a fight here.
Yeah, beams and bounces all around. I'm not sure what Day wants to do, which person he wants to beam first. There's his target. Nice quick shot off Posick, actually going down. Such an amazing player. Won't be able to see this end game. Now it's Drowsy and Seatplit who are also just taking this fight, but I think Day now is the one conducting everything. He's going on the wall, box to box. Crash pads might be able to save Krause up top, but I don't think it's going to be possible. Day is still chasing him down. I think he needs to calm down just a little bit before he gets a little bit too ahead of himself.
No, looks like he wants to get ahead of himself. Like the launch pad came out and Day is still following here. He's chasing it down. Doesn't need this fight. He has that launch pad on the ground if he wanted to just box up on it, but no. Maybe this is the play here, getting some eliminations on the board early as Blake now looking to see if he can capitalize on this, putting out more pressure on Drowie, and after all that, Day doesn't even get the elimination. Oh, he does. He gets that last shot as Blake, as pressure applied, is just enough to give Day the opening to finally lock it down. Yeah, we saw that a little bit as well. P-God, obviously, who came first, and I believe day one of the NA East qualifiers as well. He came into that with a quite aggressive semi-final, toned it back for finals, but he did. He still stuck to his gameplay. It's sometimes not just aggression, it's just confidence as well. And in these set lobbies, especially some of these players who, wow. Sizz Lucky, now that's an old classic name going down here. Sizz Lucky, a fan favorite one to go down here. Yeah, and we saw how brutal water zones could be last season. This season, not so bad, because usually the water is now so shallow that you can build out of it, but it gives very clear sight lines. If you don't have some kind of rotation and you're just swimming through the zone, you have nothing to hide behind except for other players' builds. So this first game is a really, really difficult game for these players because they have to set up insanely well. If they pick the wrong island, if they try and go too far, nice headshot snipe. Ninja on height goes down. He does. He makes it out of Steamy. He doesn't get too far, though. This isn't that far from Steamy, but with no floppers in the inventory, but 4 of those chug splashes and 2 crash pads. One thing I'm noticing from the people we've seen, Shire, that we're kind of jumping around today, they haven't had a lot of mobility. I'm not seeing a lot of mobility on this map as Roller Pair goes down, using what little mobility he probably had with that launch pad.
I know exactly why. That's what the 3rd launch we've seen and maybe the 8th crash pad so far this game. Everyone's just trying to play so safe and disengaged that all the mobility is just basically leaving their inventories. One big thing with all these players that have qualified, we kind of saw it with that little package right before game 1. A lot of them are used to wins, used to safety. Flight completely out of there. He's being taken off by Miro.
These are some of the best players in the world, trying to take those box fights that would normally be such like an advantage for them, and they're so comfortable with. They're versing good players. We see someone getting hit by the Shark, and Shark Week's coming up, showing us. We might have to tune into Party Royale to see why these Sharks are being so aggressive for these players. Takes him down as Norcal Kamari gets an elimination, but again, has the mobility, but doesn't have the meds right now.
I don't think it even matters how much mobility you have. Just look at the amount of players that probably also have crash pads. Yeah, you'll be able to get in the zone, but are you going to be in someone's box? Are you going to land on grass cut by accident and get one charged? Who knows? So you have to be very careful even if you do have the movement.
Yeah, we've been seeing that a lot with those crash pads. Quite often they just go astray as Rokane gets taken out. There it is, just a one tap from Presto, takes down Rokane.
I don't know what's going on. This might be one of the most interesting mid games I've seen where no one's really pushing box to box. Yeah, they're basing up, but it's just like what Boog is doing. Big tags from long range, Smuggy going down, and it's just like you're not really getting all the refreshes because it's right there. Someone's right there next to the box. They'll be able to get in there, get all the mats that you work so hard for, and now you're using mobility. You're low on mats, so you're Booga in this situation. You're actually at a net negative overall for your loadout.
rather than maybe going for those beams out of the sky, because yeah, it gets you a bit of points, but in such a high consistency placement format, and what I'm talking about obviously is how many points you get for placement versus eliminations, it is worth getting the eliminations only really if you get the refreshes. 1 point's nice, but really it's the materials. As Illest goes down to Pandush though.
Yeah, you can feel that type of placement format just being played right now too. Yeah, it's not a moving zone, but this is the effect of just playing for that end game, staying in your boxes. Every POV we're seeing is basically a window shot, timed perfectly.
Yeah, it looks like Clary's going to be setting up for that crash pad as well. He's going to try and maybe kind of link a few of them together, obviously based on momentum. If you can get a few crash pads going in a row, it's quite favorable for you. There's one. Let's see if he hits the second one as well. He does, and we'll see how far he goes. Look at that. Makes it almost, he does. He makes an almost complete opposite half. But as you said it earlier, Shayo, quite often when you make these rotates, you end up in the box of an enemy, or they end up in your box, and Clarity reacts quicker, takes down Crispy, and he gets a good rotate with a nice little refresh now.
That is the perfect thing for Clarity, though. It's usually trouble for a lot of other players, but if you put this man in someone else's box or even put someone else in his, he will always win every single time. I don't know if I've ever seen Clarity even choke a clutch, but he's so good in these stressful moments, and you just saw it right there.
Yeah, it's that tack as well. He's got that tack, so he can kind of have that quicker fire rate to really follow up. If you're running in with that charged shotgun, you got to hit your shot right now. And quite often, when you end up in someone's box like that and it's panicked and you don't really know what's going on around you, the charge can be so unforgiving. As Clarity now just kind of working on taking some of these builds and boxes around him, making sure he has a little safety net, because there's going to be a lot of people moving soon. He wants to make sure no one else moves through his box now, so he can just get those placements. As we see, Fishy, someone who's been performing very, very well recently, who I don't think has qualified yet. I'm not entirely sure, but he's got a nice little box there near Clarity. I'm seeing Mars as well in this one. Glace, who's looking great. Day, Miro, some of those aggressive players we saw from earlier. So looking like on this edge near Fish, he needs to be careful. I'm looking at Miro a Day to try and go a bit aggressive here on the start of this rotate.
Yeah, this rotate might be one of the hardest when it comes to solos because it's very, very mat dependent. Yes, it's not all the way over water, but there's a bunch of players that need to go all the way right past it, back over onto land, and then after that claim their own layers. Reverse is way ahead of it though, so he'll get to make all the decisions first. He's above Surge 2, which is also ticking. 13 people need to go down for that Surge to end. Reverse though is looking really, really good in this position.
Yeah, 36 build. Reverse is one of those players, obviously qualified for World Cup, an insane solo play, incredibly smart, and I find that he is one of the best Shambles players I've seen. And when I say Shambles, I'm looking at loadouts like this. No spare shield, only bandages for meds, and only 34 builds. He can usually make this work. He is phenomenal in these low ground positions, and just like that, you see it. He picks up a refresh on Ace, and it's the caddy launcher. Not only did he just pick up a refresh with what little he had, he picked up a refresh on the most stacked player in this lobby.
Stacked, but Reverse still isn't. Just 4 more shockwave launcher uses left. Booga is on the back wall, 2 in his box. Sure, get out of there. It's time to go all the way back to land. Booga has 18 shields now, enough to pop a little bit more, a lot of mobility. He just needs to situate himself really fast, heal all the way up, and I feel like he's looking at a really good game ahead of him.
Yeah, he's got that launch pad. He's also got the 4 crash pads. So he's got as much rotation as he could need right now with that one flopper, which is, if you take a couple of those storm ticks, is so much more forgiving as he makes the rotate across. But what is not forgiving is going through the sky with players in the lobby that have aim like that. Booga almost gets taken out, but he has his little breathing room to get his material, to get his meds off now. Still got some material in the back pocket. Booga is looking really, really good in this lobby, Shayo.
Yeah, he's got his secret weapon, and that's materials. 82 of them to boot too, and we're just hitting the 7th zone. If he gets to just basically have his own lair, no! He went to the skies, you can't build there, and Booga gets taken out.
That's some incredible aim right now. That is the issue right now. Hits a short pad as well. Even sets it up to minimize how long he was in the sky for, but it's not enough. We're seeing a few players here on low ground, and this zone is going straight across this very flat terrain now. So that low ground is not such a bad spot to be, as we see Aspect, who's trying to go for the high ground, someone who's qualified for every single one of these finals. So he's looking to stamp his mark on it, maybe get a top 5 place here as Casca goes down. And that mid layer right now is insanely congested. Reverse is still in this one. Remember, he does have the caddy launcher in the back pocket, one of the most powerful weapons here, with only 2 rockets holding the angles with Kit's mythic shotgun. I talked about power weapons. That mythic shotgun can hit so very hard on this low ground, and he finally gets some minis. He might actually get above 100 health here, and he does. Only 14 builds though, Shy. He's got to make something big happen soon.
He was a ticking time bomb on low ground. It was only a matter of time before he wants to go for height. He got 8 more rockets from that elimination too, so now he's pushing all the way for the top. I think it's Turkaz up there who's now on the defensive side. Only crash pads can save him. Reverse is in control though of the lobby. 2 eliminations. He is out of mats, so the next decision he makes is the most crucial one.
We see Dubs on low ground right now, so we've got 2 solo World Cup qualifiers still in this lobby. Dubs trying to make his way through. He's got 26 builds left, 2 eliminations, got the crash pads, but reverse is he's at the tippity top on his throne, but he has no build, so can he hold it? Is someone going to dethrone him, or can he stay up there? Dubs still pushing through on these lower ground layers. We see Pando still in this one as well. Turkus is down there. Hoot Fishy on the low ground near Furious. That is an aggressive fight as reverse goes for it, using the shockwave to stay off these builds to make sure no one edits him in. He's got to try and make it happen. He does. Can he jump up? Can he get this shotgun shot? No, the player is staying beneath the build and he just can't get in. Takes the heavy shot back for it, trying to make his way through. He's dropping down. This is it. This is do or die now. Reverse goes through, gets the elimination. He is just dropping down through layers. Dubs is down there though. They're going to run into each other soon. Don't know if he can hold on to it, Shio.
Reverse has been jumping around this whole time while there's a 4-way box fight going on low ground. Still going up again. Turkus has dropped down. Dubs is just flowing into the storm. He's trying to survive. 18 HP. Hoofishy and Furious are still battling it down on low ground. Dubs has a chance for a big charge. Only 1 mat left. Is he going to go for a nice quick hit? One more edit. He cannot find it. Reverse gets Furious all the way from height. Dubs literally is just hanging on by a thread. A 1v1v1 scenario. There's a big hit. Turkus goes down. Now it's Dubs versus who I can only assume is Reverse 2K. No more shockwave launcher left, just position. And oh my god, Reverse with a huge reversal from low ground. What a shot on the Dubs for the win.
And one thing in particular to note, compared to EU, we saw that the top player had 24 points after 2 matches. Now Reverse getting out to a solid lead. The key thing, will he be able to push forward? You also see the 3-time qualifier Miro rounding out the top 10 there with 10 points. However, this is just the first game and tons of things will be able to change. Furious, Turkus,